knowing that I will die one day, it's given me, it hasn't given me fear, but it's given me like, okay, like I don't have that much time, right? Like, I mean, I don't know, I could be called to heaven any day, right? Any moment, you never know. So that actually inspires me to want to live life to the fullest, right? To make the most of every moment that God has given me.
Death is part of a regular life, I think, the thought of death for me anyway. I think every kid, since they're about 4 or 5 years old, where they realize that, depending on their experience of parents dying, grandparents dying, people that they've been connected to dying, I think every kid lives with a shadow hanging over their life that is multidimensional, that I'm going to die, and I think more important, mom and dad is going to die. What's it going to be like when I'm alone? And I think also integrated into that is, what's it going to be like when I have to face death? And sometimes when we're alone and thinking about things, those sort of thoughts come up. I think it's common for everyone to have those thoughts. I think the real question behind our fear is my love and my mom and dad's love stronger than death? Is everything going to end when mom and dad die? Or when somebody I love dies? Is this going to be just the end of the feelings, the end of the connection? You don't have to have religious faith to know when you're with somebody and you spend time with them as they're dying, that this is not the end of the story. You feel it. Your love is not only threatened, but it's confirmed at the level of our bodies, at the level of our emotions, at the level of our hearts.
It's healthy to think about death because it puts this moment into focus. That life does not carry on forever. That there is an end. And so we must live each day with the knowledge that this is the only gift that the present moment is the only thing that I know for certain I've been given, and tomorrow I may not. So to be able to live each day in its fullness, I think it's essential that people think of death. And I think we're doing a disservice to children when we try and hide death from our children. There's a real push in our culture today to not bring children to funerals, to not even have a funeral. And I think that's a terrible thing because, yes, it's sad. And yes, it's a hard moment, a moment of mourning and saying goodbye to a loved one, but it's also a beautiful moment where this person has come to the end of their earthly pilgrimage, where they're now meeting God, and we accompany them with our prayers, and now they in a way intercede for us in heaven with God, and we continue to pray for them that they be purified and welcomed into heaven.
There's a lot of numbing that goes on in the modern world because it's almost too much of a reality to face our mortality. In psychology we call it an existential crisis, that I can't avoid it. It's coming, and so I've got to try to make the most that I possibly can now, where in the Christian context we can embrace the reality of death because of Jesus.